Why is Bill Gates Terra Power bent against all odds to invest in something that has killed thousands and has the potential to do even more damage? Could there be ulterior motives? Can Bill Gates Terra Power be the future for nuclear energy? A bittersweet history. Nuclear plants were not in existence until somewhere in the 1950s. Since then, it has come to join the various energy-producing elements, such as wind and solar, as well as the more common fossil-burning fuel sources, such as coal and natural gas. Currently, some 440 nuclear reactors around the world are responsible for a total production of 10% of the entire world's electric power. The involvement of Bill Gates in this aspect of power generation and the debate on whether it is the future for global usage and climate impact begins to take form when we consider its risk-to-benefit ratio. According to Brent Warner of the International Energy Agency, about 60 gigatons of carbon dioxide emissions have been avoided so far thanks to the nuclear industry.
Nuclear power is the only carbon-free energy source we have that can deliver large amounts of power day and night through every season, almost anywhere on Earth.
But that does not begin to tickle the advocates for the disregard and maybe even total eradication of nuclear energy, such as the Union of Concerned Scientists, UCS. Together with the rest of the world, they have seen the impact and recognized the dangers nuclear energy poses to the world. Since we have already touched on this aspect, let's delve a bit more into it before we get to why Bill Gates thinks his ideas should be heard and considered for the benefit of generations to come. The resistance and concerns. Some keywords you would immediately hear when it comes to concerns about the discussion of nuclear energy are danger, cost, irresponsibility, and misdirection. In an interview with CNBC, Edwin Lyman, the director of nuclear power safety for the UCS at Washington, D.C. said, "It doesn't make sense for either government to devote a lot of resources to pursuing high-risk, low-reward technologies that could be even worse than what we have now." Can you blame the UCS or people who resist the advancement and escort of nuclear energy into the future? Incidences like the disastrous accidents at Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island that killed thousands of people and created ghost towns serve as a backdrop to the validity of these concerns. So in essence, the fears and repulsion to Bill Gates Terra Power intents result from the combined experiences of the dangers of nuclear energy from the past and the challenges it faces in the present. This thus creates a gloomy picture for the future of this aspect of power generation, at least according to anti-nuclear activists. Apart from everything else, there is also the issue of the profitable aspect of this whole venture at the expense of the safety of the globe and climate preservation. Jan Haverkamp from Greenpeace has mentioned that nuclear energy is a diversion from urgent climate action, and that interested parties in the sector, such as Bill Gates and Terra Power, are just depicting it as a solution for climate change, where really it is a desperation for capital. How does the once world's richest man and innovator answer to these concerns of mere profitability? We will get to that shortly, but in the meantime, this is a good place to subscribe to our channel to follow up on updates on this ever-important topic. Terra Power's answer. So how exactly will Terra Power seek to differ from the previous nuclear establishments? The way traditional nuclear power generation works is that it uses a process called nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is the release of heat from the energy generated when atoms are split in the process. Water in the nuclear power plants, or if you want to go by their proper name, light water nuclear reactors, absorbs this heat and turns it into steam, which is then used to power turbines to produce power. The deadly explosions that occur with nuclear power plants result from the pressure this steam can potentially build up inside the reactor. This is where Terra Power finds its unique entry. The Terra Power reactor absorbs heat without building pressure. This is due to the use of liquid sodium, a cooling agent, also termed natrium, which doubles as the name of Terra Power's nuclear plant. The director of nuclear innovation at nonprofit Clean Air Task Force, Brett Rampel, has indicated that liquid sodium has certain improved thermochemical properties that can reduce the probability of events that might be more probable in a light water reactor. So if the UCS ever worried about the safety of nuclear plants going forward, there is Bill Gates' reply to that. But what are the other concerns, such as the high production cost of nuclear plants compared to the relatively cheaper sources of power generation, such as wind and solar? Bill Gates has an answer to that too. We will get to that shortly. Benefits? Apart from the immediate and obvious benefit of increased safety, one of the significant perks TerraPower's revolutionary nuclear plant development will bring is the Natrium reactor's ability to store energy. The heat the plant will absorb in providing the needed power and ensuring safety will also be stored as energy for future use. This will make it work like a battery, producing a power output of some 345 megawatts, with the potential to go up to 500 megawatts. Furthermore, establishing a nuclear plant will increase employment 1,000-fold. That's something the people of Wyoming, where Bill Gates has his eyes on, are very excited about.
Nuclear power is the only carbon-free energy source we have that can deliver large amounts of power day and night through every season, almost anywhere on Earth.
Production cost. TerraPower has a definite answer to the concerns of cost in producing nuclear energy, and this is in the form of the size of the nuclear reactor they will be manufacturing. The smaller size nuclear reactors will greatly reduce production costs. Where it took some $25 billion to establish 2 nuclear plant units in Georgia, TerraPower estimates a total of $1 billion as the cost of production.
We have more nuclear plants than they do. We have over 100 nuclear plants of the 400 in the world. So we are the biggest in absolute nuclear electricity generator. But
you are personally investing in nuclear.
Right.
These projections make TerraPower's ambitions for nuclear energy a very appealing one for the future, despite the prevailing contention. However, are all of Bill Gates' projects facing such contentions, such as his $5 billion Africa project to improve health and anti-poverty conditions? Watch this video we made on it to find out. Thanks for watching.